Folks are planning for 3 generations and we're planning for Saturday night. I would rather carry a plastic bag with $5,000 in it than to carry a $5,000 Louis Vuitton bag with $100 in it. Nike is winning. Gucci is winning. Armani is winning. You ain't winning. We are the consumption class. They are the merchant class. They make stuff. We buy stuff. The rich stay rich by pretending to be poor, and the poor stay poor by pretending to be rich. We got this shit aired backwards.
Hello, and welcome back to The Conversation Piece with your host, Akila. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Let's hear that Sean Croxton gym again.
Folks are planning for 3 generations and we're planning for Saturday night. I would rather carry a plastic bag with $5,000 in it than to carry a $5,000 Louis Vuitton bag with $100 in it. Nike is winning. Gucci is winning. Armani is winning. You ain't winning. We are the consumption class. They are the merchant class. They make stuff. We buy stuff. The rich stay rich by pretending to be poor, and the poor stay poor by pretending to be rich. We got this shit aired backwards.
Selling a way of life is the most effective way of selling a product. It's giving face. It's giving aesthetic, glam, vibe, opulence coming through the screen. They make you seem like you need this product. You're a loser if you don't have this product. But not everyone is built the same for this new god, influencer. It's a form of idol worship. It is idol worship. But we're no better than the pagans.
I said what I said!
A huge growing problem with idol worship and influencer culture is the capitalistic drive behind it. And for capitalism to thrive, only a few can truly benefit from the system. And poor people are the primary drivers of this obsessive materialism. Brands need someone to sell to profit from, to serve them. So, there will always be a bottom class group who strive to aspire to higher social status. Celebrity and influencers have people who want to look and live like them. And with this, people have found themselves in a mountain of debt. Social media is flooded with people who needlessly flaunt their lavish lifestyles to the oogling eyeballs of those who perhaps only wish to aspire to that level of consumption, that level of lavishness. And it has consequences, especially if you can't afford a lifestyle.
Make it till you make it. It just gives off that image that I should be worshipped almost, you know what I'm saying? I'm somebody you're not. I can afford this, you can't. That somehow propels them in this culture.
Poor people are the ones that spend the most money on the $700 shoes, the ones that don't have it.
You want the ones with the bars and the sparkly, the bedazzles on the side with the shiny when you walk, you know what I mean? Make the girls sweat. I'll pay you about $1,200, $1,300, you know what I mean?
It's about exclusivity. Can you call up and get you a pair of the fresh Giuseppe's, or do you get to go in the back of the Versace store and shop? The American dream, to me, it's all about status right now. It's the new doctor in front of your name.
We hold out the illusion of the American dream, but not only can we and our children not attain what generations had before, but things are getting worse.
Is the world not a classist? People are obsessed with consumption and the acquisition of as many material things that they can get. Majority of things they don't even need, but want because of this sense of belonging in a certain caste of society. Some people judge quantity for quality, and we need to look no further than social media. TikTok and Instagram have millions of people uploading videos daily, and the more followers you can amass, then hopefully one can garner the attention of brands and endorsement deals. And this is where influencer culture has struck financial gold. In previous years, we would see a famous actor brandishing an endorsement, but the relatability factor lost its luster. Seriously, how many of us can relate to the life of a celebrity? I can relate. Yeah.
How, Sway?
But celebrities are just like us, aren't they? But are they really? That's why the influencer is a vital key to the system of capitalism. These are and were normal everyday people like you and me who are more relatable. So if they say that these vitamins are key to their weight loss, it's more believable than a Kardashian who have access and resources beyond the scope of you and me. Influencer culture is driven heavy by consumerism, and capitalism at the helm seems to be placing the value of money with people, class, time, and materialism. But influencer culture goes further back than social media. America has been in this vicious cycle for decades.
The origin of all this fascination with wealth is the US government itself spending way beyond their means. And I'll try to keep this simple so I don't lose the viewer. In 71, America dropped off the gold standard. That basically meant the money in circulation was no longer backed by any assets.
The 70s was the turning point. We began to borrow to maintain both a lifestyle and an empire we could no longer afford. We shifted from an empire of production to an empire of consumption.
Abandonment of the gold standard led to an abandonment of fiscal discipline. Print it like crazy, make it like crazy.
We cut your tax rates by nearly 25%. America, go for it.
The values of the Reagan 80s really placed this emphasis on wealth. There was the idea that you were better off driving a BMW and looking super hot. Now, if you look great and you have a nice car, I'm all for it. But at the expense of what?
Instead of demographics, we need to think psychographically. You know what I'm saying? For real, for real. Like we were talking about demographics earlier, Chopley, it don't matter where you at. If the mind thinking and operating right and clear, watch out. That's how you get in somebody's head. You know, because that's what it takes. That's what they're doing. They're using the mind. If you manipulate the mind, shit, you can do anything.
Hey you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Do you have Spotify? If so, turn on the notification button. Press On, the latest book from author C.C. Robinson. The full title, Press On, Awareness to Overcome All While Healing Debts of the Heart, Mind, and Soul, available on Amazon, BalboaPress.com, and BarnesandNoble.com. So what are you waiting for? Click that order button.
You are now listening to the Conversation Piece podcast with your host, Akila.
Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
God. They would spend what I would in a month on a single meal. I'll never earn that money, no matter how hard I try. You people spend it all in one day. All those clothes, designer clothes, supercars. You keep flaunting it and it makes us feel even shittier about our lives. Is it that freaking hard to share with others? Do you have to rub it in our faces too?
That was from a Korean drama called Celebrity, streaming now on Netflix. A brazen dramedy about how a normal, ordinary person rose to the inner ranks of a group of influencers, and who quickly finds out that that lifestyle is more than what is projected. Even I am delusional, thinking influencer culture will die out eventually. I do see the harm in it, but the metric that's most important, of course, is the money. Global influencer marketing value in 2023 was at $21.1 billion. I'm from Generation X. Generation Z is a demographic that is mostly affected by influencer culture because it drives what they purchase. They grew up in influencer culture. It highlights their characteristics: ambitious, anxious, and driven by money. But oh, my dear little Gen Zers, if you think money will buy you anything and everything, you have never, ever, ever had money. That's a quote by Florian Holm. The dark side of the culture on the other side of this break.
You are now listening to the Conversation Piece podcast.
Things are getting worse. When there is no social mobility, the only social mobility you have is fictitious. The presentation that you give to the rest of the world denies your own reality. I've come to look at mass culture, and in particular, television, as a form of violence. Because 24 hours a day, this fictitious lifestyle, which we're all told that we can have, fuels this sense of inadequacy.
Authenticity. That is what people want and crave for. And if you're an influencer, that is what you want to project. That's one of many reasons you've amassed so many followers, right? They want what you're selling. But if an influencer finds him or herself being sponsored, then suddenly it is the brand that is more important. For they have the terms and conditions to meet as well. The moment you go outside those guidelines, you find yourself on the verge of cancellation by the brand and sometimes the followers. Followers who partake in this form of idol worship feel a sense of entitlement to their object of worship, forgetting that they're a person, a flawed, imperfect being that they are devoting themselves to. Listen, being your authentic self is what drives followers, but a brand or sponsor, they're looking at your numbers. And the moment you sign that contract, they want you to drive their message, not yours. These celebrities and influencers are bound to do, say, or act in a way that sometimes runs counter to their followers' desires. And then comes a sense of betrayal and how dare you! The irony of putting your self-worth in another person is that at some point you will feel betrayed. And chances are you never met this person. The rate at which cancel culture thrives in modern society is fleeting. One moment you're loved, the next moment the mob is at your doorstep, ready to rip you to shreds. It's not surprising that females dominate social media, but not all females are engaged in the same way, especially in the comment section, where women of color, especially black women, find themselves victims of harassment, which brings me to another point of influencer culture, content creation. A lot of content online comes from black creators. Anyone remember the viral dance of 2020, Renegade? No? Like the hit? Here you go. One of the biggest TikTok stars at the time was Charli D'Amelio. I probably botched her name. I apologize. But Charli popularized the dance, but it was a 14-year-old at the time, black teenager, Jalea Harmon of Atlanta, who was the originator of that dance, but at the time received no credit. That came later. But TikTok is synonymous with dance culture, and a lot of the content comes from black creators. But if it's in the form of dance, followers, and payment, black creators often see minimum, if any, commercial capital for the creations. Another problem is the algorithm, which is a part of coding, and platforms such as TikTok and Instagram in particular have owned up to the fact that their platforms have suppressed black voices and blamed this algorithm and policies as faulty, especially during the 2020 wave of Black Lives Matter protests. Instagram CEO Adam Mosseri posted a note on Facebook, which owns Instagram, stating, quote, "We're hearing concern about whether we suppress black voices and whether our products and policies treat everyone equally," end quote. AI researcher Mar Fadul of UC Berkeley found that social media platforms like TikTok seem to suggest creators based on the skin color and other visual characteristics of the user. How? You know TikTok is spying on you, right? They know what you look like. Humans, we're complex beings, full of duality. Now with social media and people vying for followers and likes, sometimes with the hopes of getting brand deals and sponsorships, knowing how messy people can be, it is no wonder that some are turning to artificial intelligence models as influencers, and these AI models are getting paid. Meet Aitana Lopez, a 25-year-old Spanish model created by Ruben Cruz and his agency, The Clueless. Aitana makes $11,000 a month, the last time I checked. It could be more by now. $11,000 a month? Run that back. This AI model makes $11,000 a month. Why? Because the agency was tired of influencers who have, quote, egos. Now, I'm going to call it right now. This is a new wave of influencers. Even though, for now, we mere mortal humans still prefer our influence in human form. But AI tech will only get better and better over time. And AI is taking over every industry. There's a news channel being beta tested right now. And by the time I record this, it's probably already operating. Where the news anchors, get this, are 100% AI generated. The news channel is called Channel 1. Now, Channel 1 claims that their AI anchors will get their news from reliable, verified sources. Sure, whatever. Like people are tuning in to get a hot take from an AI anchor. No! People want visual. People are more attuned to hear what you're saying when it's coming from an attractive person? So the influencer is the new god. No, I'm not being sacrilegious. I'm being observing and seeing how quickly human beings are being replaced by artificial intelligence, especially where it comes to persuading you to buy something, to consume. It's sad to say, but we did this to ourselves. We're setting unrealistic expectations of ourselves, especially the men. I mean, have you seen Aitana? Why believe in something you can't see when there's Aitana right there on your screen? Just saying. Thank you again for tuning in to another episode of the Conversation Piece Podcast. I am your humble host, Akila, requesting that you join me again. So, until then, be safe, love, and value yourself so that you can love and value others. I bid you adieu with the greeting, Assalamu alaikum, peace be with you.